and I'm gonna blow on it, and sometimes they release a huge deposit of spores.
Oh yeah. Oh baby.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Vodkast. This is another one that's been a long time coming. I know I mentioned it about a month ago, and I said I was going to color this, one of Artie's pictures from his sketchbook, his coloring book rather, for the coloring contest. So I thought I'd sit here today and we could talk a little bit. Maybe we'll talk about Artie. Maybe we'll talk about this drawing board that's pretty neat. But where do we begin? With a man who was bigger when John did his baptism thing. I hope this camera setup works. This is kind of different, a little different than I'm used to doing lately. So I did pick these up. These are pretty neat. These are the Colors of the World colored pencils, and I think I'm going to start with this to start with the skin tones, and then we're going to work out from there. I'm going to have to name these guys as we go along too. I'm just going to dump these out. This is pretty neat. It's got 24 different flesh tones. Some of these I've never seen on a human, but hey, these aren't humans. These are oh boy, Jesus. All right, let's do this. I tried to organize as best I could before the video, but I knew things were going to come up, and I forgot my toolbox out there that's got all my fucking tools in it.
Should I bring my fucking tools?
I still haven't quite decided if I'm going to do just colored pencils or colored pencils and marker. I feel like these guys are a little pasty. This is, all right, I guess his name will come to me as we move along. I'm going to try... I printed out a bunch of these just in case I wanted to start over, and also so I could take a look at some of these colors. Some of these, like that doesn't even really show up on white. Let's go a little darker tone and see what we got. We'll start under the brow here, where it would be dark. The lighting's coming down. I don't know what the lighting conditions are yet. We're going to say that it's a moonlit night, and they are underneath the moonlight. I also want to say that I can't promise you I'm going to finish this whole drawing whilst we are sitting here, but I will do my best to at least provide the final picture, whether it be at the end of this video or in a future video. I've always wanted to do these. To be honest, this is one of the few things that got me going. There's a guy, Will Terrell. If I can remember, I'll put a link to Will out there. I haven't worked much with colored pencils in a while. I prefer markers, but markers there's a commitment with. You know what I mean? It's like, if you fuck up with a marker, you're starting over again. If you fuck up with a colored pencil, I guess you're kind of in a rough place too, but not as bad as if you were... with a marker. Markers bleed, man. Alright, let's get some of these darker tones done. Underneath here. It's always darker under the lips and under the eyebrows, where if there's a light coming down, it's going to cast a shadow over the face. And that's why you get those cool, like, when you're out camping and you get a flashlight under you. You're highlighting areas that are standing out while you're, you're putting the rest in shadows. In shadows. So I'm really impressed with Artie getting this done. I like to talk the talk sometimes, but man, he can walk the walk, and he gets things done, and he put out a really cool coloring book, which I'm super excited about coloring this again. I might actually do one in marker at some point. I don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a different one. Maybe it'll be the same one. Sometimes I like to do the same things in variations just to see the differences of, the outcome. Because sometimes you start with a vision in your head and you end up somewhere completely fucking different. It's funny, I usually do most of this in digital, and I probably will do a digital version of this as well, or at least a somewhat digital version of it. What I'm bummed out about is, Well, that bums me out, but we're not going to fix that because right now it's not time for fixing that. It's time for coloring. I like the way this is coming out so far. I don't know what I was talking about, but that's all right. We all have forgetful moments. Okay. This table that I spoke of earlier is it used to have a built-in T-square and a triangle, and it was really neat, and then my kids fucked it up. If you want cool shit, don't have pets or kids. But if you want an amazing life, well, I guess you don't have to have kids. But I would have to say that my life has been more amazing because of my children. Hang on, I gotta check this because something's going on. All right, I guess we are gonna need a little darker. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Okay. I really want to emphasize those shadowy areas. Yeah, this table used to have a T-square and a triangle built into it on this like pulley system in the back. It was really cool. I think it was like $4.99 at Goodwill. Yeah, $4.99 at Goodwill. That's one thing I do miss about, like, because of the pandemic, is like being able to just kind of go where you want to go when you want to go there, and not have to worry about dying. You know what I mean? I mean, I know we'll get there again, but it's just gonna take a while. And in the meantime, you know, I've discovered some things. Some of my favorite things are just sitting around and creating videos. Sometimes I color. Sometimes I draw. Sometimes I make up little songs for my YouTube channel. I'm working on a new thing now, but I don't know how much my friends want me to tell you about it. But as soon as I can, I'll share that information with you. He's looking good. I'm liking this. I had considered doing a monotone version of this and just doing it all in gray tones, but I changed my mind. There's too much life in this picture to bore it with no color. I mean, I might eventually, like I said, I'm going to do variations of these anyway, but this one I wanted to just kind of do a straightforward thing and then, you know, do different stuff from there. I do think this would lend itself to, like I was saying, with that lighting, like it's, you know, they're traveling through the swamp, they're trying to get home. Good old Blobus here. His name is Blobus. No, Blobus. Blip. I'm going to call you Blip. So Blip here is going through the forest. He's just trying to get home to his wife and kids. They were out, you know, working all day, and now they're coming home. But unfortunately, they had to cut through the swamp because they were running late. They got stuck. Their boss made them stay late, and because of that, they had to travel through the swamp to get home. And everybody knows that if you're traveling through the swamp at night, there's a good, I don't know, 75% chance you're going to run into a troll. The first time I ever played D&D, like, okay, how do I explain this without sounding like an asshole? I played D&D the very first time with Joe Hooper from my church, Winthrop Street Baptist Church. And I was about 16 years old. And at the time, I knew nothing about D&D, and he hadn't played in years either. So I ended up playing, like, we played a module from, like, first edition, and it was, like, 6 characters that I had to play myself. And I always thought up to that point that's how D&D was. I just didn't know that, like, well, I mean, I kind of knew. I had an idea. I wasn't an idiot. I wasn't a stupid idiot. However, I was well aware of the fact that, you know, you could play with other people. Like, it wasn't a single-player game, or I don't know how to describe that. What was my point? Oh, yeah. The first time I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with other people, it was Rob and Peter Burnt, and I was playing a ranger. First character I'd ever played, like a solo, just one character. And Rob was playing a knight, some kind of a knight, a paladin, that's it. And we came across trolls, and they were my favorite enemy. Like, if you're a ranger in Dungeons and Dragons, then you have a favored enemy. It's the thing that you hate the most. Maybe it killed your parents or, ate your baby or something. And that's nice. That's nice. I might just use this. Actually, that is kind of ghoulish. Kind of like that better for the plants. I don't really want to work on the plants yet, though. I want to. Yeah, I do. Let's get a little plant. I want you guys to get a brief idea of what I'm doing here, so that when you see the file, you know the process I went through. I need. I'm gonna do. Do I have a darker green? Oh, what is this? I'm just kind of fill in like the negative space here. Like, I probably should just do black. You know what's a real bummer is if you don't have good colored pencils, which I don't, it makes it a lot more difficult. Like I want to get up into these corners, but because this doesn't sharpen properly, I don't know what's causing it. God damn it! All I know is that there's a problem here, and I'm not the cause of it. Or am I just poo dipping? Do you have a poo dip when you were a kid? You know what poo dipping is? It's when you're playing a video game and you fuck up and you get killed or something, and you blame it on like the cat. Like, the fucking cat just went right in front of the screen. That's called poo dipping, in my world at least. Okay, so that's not bad. Actually, I'm gonna go with a little bit of gray though to darken it up, because it's further in the background. We're seeing it kind of, through his legs. So everything behind him, especially with the lighting and the way this is probably all working out, is casting shadows. So you wouldn't see a lot of color down here. But like I said, if I was just going to do this in black and white, that wouldn't be very fun. Or at least not today. Maybe another time. Okay. Sometimes when you're coloring someone else's work, it's a funny thing because, like, you have a way that you draw. You know what I mean? Like, and so, like, these little lines for me, and I'm sure they are for Artie too, represent little, like, just sprigs of grass coming out. But I don't know. They could be something else. So I'm going to go with the impression that it's grass and go over it. And I just want to dark up here. And leave a little bit of light up top for the Holy Ghost. Dark. I need a darker green, but unfortunately, like I said, I don't have any other colored pencils. I had some Prismacolor ones at one point, and they were okay, but I think it was shortly before I discovered markers. And the markers changed a lot because I love working in watercolor. I don't do it a lot, and I don't get a lot of opportunities to. Not like I don't have the opportunities to. I could create opportunities for myself. Watercolor is kind of like, you're committed to doing it. Like, if you really want to, like, do something in watercolor, then you have to set it up, and you have to, clean up. And I know that sounds like I'm complaining, but with drawing, it's like you just pick out a pencil and, go. That's why, basically I have so many drawings that aren't finished because, I don't know, the funnest part to me is the drawing, or at least the expedited part of it. So I guess if I ever did comics, what I'm saying is I would draw them, but I probably wouldn't ink them. I enjoy inking, though. I really do enjoy inking. I love every part of this whole process. I've been creating art since I was about 2 years old, since I could hold a crayon. I still have, actually, the cover of the book I'm working on, which is going to be a collection of my art. It's on the cover, the first drawing I have, or that I still have. I'm sure there was stuff I did earlier on in the game, but my mother was... This is another bummer, too, if you don't have the colors you need. All right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to try something. We're going to experiment. We're going to go crazy. That's what art's about. You know what? If I screw this up, I can just do another one. Let's see, how dark is that? That's pretty dark. If I come in lightly, though, it might be interesting. Kind of like it's more of a mossy thing, They're in a swamp. It's very... mossy in the swamp. You look on trees if you're going through the Everglades. You know how I'm always going through the Everglades? I don't know if I ever went to the Everglades. I lived in Apopka, Florida when I was, I don't even know anymore. I was young. I was very young. And I remember going to Gatorland a lot, which was a cool place because, like, they had gators and crocodiles and all kinds of shit. Well, Do I tell you the story again? Because, God, you're going to get so tired of my stories. I don't have a green. I need a light, mossy green. We're going to have to fake it. All right. This is about as close as it's going to get, I think. I guess I could just kind of go real lightly with this. This is hard to tell. I think this might be dirt. I'm going to call it dirt. It's dirt now. Let's give that dirt a little bit of texture. Oh, maybe some of the dirt got on the grass there. I don't know. You know, this looked like a lot darker when I picked this up. That's okay. It'll work. And if we have a darker one, we can go in and add a little dark. Add a little dark. Add a little dark. Now this one looked lighter, and it's darker. So I did the last thing I colored of Artie's was a turtle. And as I was coloring it, like I said, we all have our styles of how we kind of do things, how we texture things, how we light things, how we color things. And so I played around a little bit in ink in the last one, and I'm going to do that here too, just to kind of bring out some of this stuff in the background. Some shading. Not that Artie didn't bring out enough shading. I'm just saying that as I'm drawing this, I'm realizing that I fucked up. Not bad. Not beyond fixing. It's just I realized that, oh shit. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's all good. I do need a darker brown and a light mossy green though. Will Terrell. He's the one that originally inspired me to want to do videos at all. Like, I'd been watching a few YouTube channels back when we first moved here, and like, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was this cool new like thing where it's just like all this information is out there and all this great content, you know, comedy, anything you want to watch. Like, it's something about it. You know, you can find something out there. And I stumbled across Will Terrell, who I don't know if he's still working for Disney. Last time I heard, he was working for Disney. You know what I didn't get? Pencil sharpener. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to start bringing in a little bit of different greens because I just don't have enough greens to represent the one kind of family of green I'm trying to do here. Let's do his hat. I think that's enough of that for now. We can go back and finish that. I want to do all this a different color, I think. I want his hat to not be red, but I feel like it's going to pop if I do red for his hat. And I have two really good... Okay, that is quite the bright red. That's not bad. It's a little bit more bluish, more purpley that I'm happy with, but that's okay. So I'm starting to discover now that the light is actually coming a little bit this way. Not because anybody dictated that, but because I'm choosing to make it go in that general direction. I'm going to try to go over this with this red, just to make it that more natural red, but I suppose it's time to just invest and get a decent collection of colored pencils, especially if we're going to continue this series, you know what I mean? This is where some of those nice pinks are going to come in from the skin tone one. That's what I was going to do down in the grass, is just to come in with like a thin layer of the lightest green, or in this case a lighter red, which we like to call pink in the world of creation. I am not loving this hat. Yeah, I think I like that original color a little bit better. My first thought for this was I was going to do a purple hat. But maybe the guy in back will be purple. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Oh, the gem. I want to do the gem. I want that to be bright. Bright, bright. What color? Whatever color it is going to be glowing, and it's going to emanate that light on them. So we're going to go with a white light. No, it's not going to emanate light because we have a light source. Maybe there's a dim light coming from it. I don't know. Do you enjoy watching the top of my head? Because I haven't looked at this camera more than twice, and I don't think I've looked up in a while from this one. What do you think so far? Here. Oh, wait a minute. This is going to fuck me all up. I'm just going to show it to you like this. And then I will, oh God, I really fucked the dog this time. See, I set this screen, so that, you know, it wouldn't be completely boring if I do a lot of the overhead stuff. You could still kind of see the money shot here. Okay. He needs clothes. I gotta put clothes on him or he's gonna get cold. Let's do that, and then we'll do a troll, maybe a cat and nine tails, and call it a day. Okay, that's a good brown. That's what I was talking about right there. That's what I wanted down in here. I don't know how far down I want to go with it. I hope I'm not. You know, I could have had a much better angle on this. I apologize. I set it up for like everything fitting, and it looked nice, and I was like, oh, perfect. That'll just be great. And then I just never checked to see what it was going to look like when I was drawing. It's funny when you start playing with like colors, like how you notice how certain tones of colors will and won't, you know, go together. Especially like, you know, these browns and greens. I'm noticing like green, especially like if you're trying to do a mucky muck swamp, you don't want a clean bright green. You want dirty. You want filthy. You want it so fucking filthy. But I just don't have that. So we'll leave those for now, and maybe I'll do those in marker. Although I did start over here. I feel like this should be a little brown. Down in Brown Town, everyone lives down in Brown Town. Actually, that's kind of nice because it kind of gives that brown mossiness over it. All right. So I think I'm going to have to forego doing a troll right now because I really want like a light green, mossy green color. All right, we're going to use markers. I'm sick of not having the colors I want. It's dark, and I bet you this is going to be darker. Or it might be the same thing. Olive green. I bet you this is... Oh, this is light olive green. Perfect. Oh, with the brush tip, too. Huh? You know what? I'm going to try the brush tip. We'll see how it goes. I still want to leave a few wisps of that hair in there without covering it. But see, now that's where I'm talking about, where it'd be a lot easier in many ways to do colored pencils in this case, because these markers are going to want to do what they're going to want to do. And this is just a regular old piece of paper, so I really hope that dries a little lighter. Yeah, no, okay. Whenever I draw stuff like this, I'm making like sounds in my head. I'm confused. Okay, so let's just do this. Just a little bit, a touch of that. And let's take our ink. That's it. Well, guys, unfortunately my battery died on my camera, and although I do have another one charging, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to call it here so that we can do a second episode. I'll show you the final product when it's all done, and I'll talk to you about it a little bit more. And if I film anything else for it, I'll also slap it in there. So thank you guys for stopping by and checking us out. If you guys are loving watching these as much as I'm loving making them, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and hit the little bell icon. I'll let you know every time I put out a new video. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow, and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier together. Let's sing and dance in the sun and the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love and never let your inner child die. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who can't take care of themselves, because they are the ones that need it the most. I'm Geycen Oliveira, and this is the Vodkast. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Good night.